Hello and welcome to Blog Sprout. I'm LJ and today I'm going to go through my month 15 income report. So if you've been following along with these income reports, you know they've been pretty similar for the last few months, and spoiler alert, it's the same. But if you're looking to see where my site is after 15 months, you've come to the right place because I'm going to go through all the details about how my site is doing. So let's dive in. All right, so this income report is going to be slightly different than previous ones. Because things haven't really changed, I am skipping a couple bits of information. So if you're interested to see, some metrics that aren't on here, look at some of the other videos because it might be on there. So the major activities, there was a Google Core update in March. It actually seemed to help my site pretty well, so we'll get to take a look at that. But it was moderate. I haven't honestly heard or listened much about this Google Core update and what the objective was or things like that, but that is definitely something that happened this month. So if we look at the articles created, I only did 3. I wrote 2 new ones and updated 1 article. So as you can see, I am not putting in a ton of effort into this site right now, but what this income report is able to show you is the true passive income. I am doing minimal effort on this site, and you'll see how much I actually make later on. So total articles, I have 435 posts currently on the site. I do think it's probably a good target to maybe get to 500. I'm also trying to build the site enough so it's worth maybe $100,000 or so in selling it. Right now, I think it's only worth about $70,000. But I am interested in selling this site just because of personal reasons. Having the cash versus the cash flow would be really nice. So if we look at page views, looks like I need to. Sorry about that. So if we look at page views, the users according to Google Analytics were 63,000, but page views are 84,000, which is actually quite higher than last month, which we'll see in a little bit. So here's where we can see the metrics of Zoic. So you can see the trend over the last 2 months. February was a short month, so naturally I should have increased metrics. But I had less than 70,000 views last month, and now visits, and I had over 80,000 according to Zoic. Courses is 94,000 page views. There's a bit of a discrepancy, as usual, between Zoic and Google Analytics. So if we look at the Zoic page views overall, you can really see that it's leveled out pretty much since the beginning of the year. We had the great bump that got me really excited in September. Then was on a decrease, which was not fun for the holiday season. And it's kind of come back a little bit and seemed to plateau. So if we look at traffic source, I know this is always interesting to people. Most will see their site get 80, 90, 95% of traffic from Google. But my site's slightly different, in which I'm only getting 55 to 60. Because of the algorithm update, I think I am getting a little bit more from Google. You can see, it's about 1% more from Google versus the rest. But I do get a lot from DuckDuckGo and Bing, which I think helps in terms of keeping my site a little less vulnerable to updates. So let's look at Google Search Console. So that's supposed to say month 15 versus 14. I thought I changed that. So the total clicks, so you can see, has gone up by about 6,000. We had 200,000 new impressions, but the click-through rate and position are about the same. So those differences might just be due to the extra days in February versus March. So if we look at Bing Webmaster, here's the overall, flow. It's pretty choppy with Bing, and it only lets you, I think, look 6 months back. And it really hasn't changed all that much. There's a little flexibility at the end of last year into January, but again, since the beginning of 2023, it has been just about the same. But I've reached over 600,000 impressions in the last 6 months, which is pretty neat. And a click-through rate of almost 7% is really, really nice. So looking at month 15, again, pretty flat. Had 8.6 thousand clicks and 120,000 impressions, but the click-through rate is over that average and is over 7%. So if we look at SERP features, this is according to SEMrush. I don't like to see this because I thought I was maybe on the uptrend, but the top metrics are the current metrics according to SEMrush, and the ones on the bottom are from last month. So you can see the site links went down, only about 200. I don't know what this indented is. I thought that meant if you had like two results on the same page of two different articles ranking for the same thing. If someone knows what that means, I'd love to hear it in the comments. But that's new. I haven't seen that since I started. Images went up, which again is a little bit interesting, and the image pack went down. I don't know how accurate all of these are. Google Search Console is probably the best thing to use. So if we look at SEMrush, this actually seemed to show some pretty good traffic increase. We had 55% new keywords. Looks like 30% decrease, but 46% less declined and less were lost compared to this time last month. So I don't like to see the improved ones drop, but new and declined at least is positive. So let's take a look at the backlinks. So my domain authority, according to Ubersuggest, has been 14 for the longest time. It actually went down. I'm not entirely sure why it went down. You can see that the referring domains, went down by 13 and backlinks down by like 10 or so. And you'll see through the rest of these slides that the backlinks, according to every site, are going down. So that's not wonderful, but I do not do any active backlinking. I have tried, but had some pretty unsuccessful campaigns. So this is a new visual for SEMrush for the authority. So SEMrush says I have a 15% authority, and here it shows, where the authority is coming from. And as you can see, I virtually have zero link power. It's in the center of that entire thing. The organic traffic's in a good place. I'm not sure what this natural profile is, but that must be, having a big impact, which is keeping my authority up to 15. But the link power is very, very low. So looking at the backlinks, it says I actually, I potentially gained a couple backlinks and referring domains according to SEMrush. I didn't take this metric right at the end of March. I took it about a week in April, so it's very possible I could have been getting some of the backlinks from there. So we'll assume it's unchanged for SEMrush. The backlink analysis, I haven't seemed to see much of a shift towards the higher domain authorities in the backlinks. I think with most sites, you're going to see a ton in really low authority, you're going to spam, things like that. But I do have 12 supposedly over 50, which I would think would bring up my backlink score to basically over 0, but it didn't. So Google backlinks, this is a little concerning. We saw a big drop this month, of about 200 links. So I don't love to see that. I haven't really looked into to figure out where they were coming from. There is this one site that does a ton of backlinking to mine, and I think it's clearly spam, so it's possible those could have been removed. But I haven't looked into it to find out. And according to Bing, I also lost 20 domains and 30, pages. I don't know why. I don't know how, but it's happening, and it's something I need to at least think about. But it doesn't seem to be impacting performance too much. It's just impacting, my site authority kind of in the long term. So finally, we're getting into the income. So the total income without expenses is $2,405.85. That's pretty nice. It's a pretty nice number. Remember, what we're talking about here is basically truly passive income. I did those 3 articles in an hour or two and went in and did some updates, but that's about all I've done on the site this month. So if we look at the ads overview from Ezoic, you can see the breakdown of regular Ezoic partners, which was 1,300. The mediation, which we'll get the specific number from Google AdSense, is just over 300. And then I'm still part of the premium, which is bringing in 340. So that brings the total earnings, according to ads, just over $2,000. But you'll see here that EPMV is 25, and I've been trying to aim for over 30. But to some extent, EPMV is a little bit out of my control. So if we look at the Ezoic, we can see the revenue was up 3%. That does come to the fact that there were a few more days, but if you remember from our visits, the visits were up 16%. We don't see a 16% increase in revenue. So that's mostly due to that EPMV going down. So we see that's down 11%. So you can see at the end of March, we were kind of in a downtrend of the actual earnings, from the ads. And I think that's mostly just due to the overall ad index revenue. I'm not seeing a ton of difference in traffic. It's fairly consistent. More is actually coming from Google, which should give me higher EPMVs than DuckDuckGo or things like that. So I think that's mostly just due to the, ad index generally going down due to the economic status, I guess. So if we look at Google AdSense, I made $328.79 from Google AdSense. So again, this is mediation through Ezoic. And this just brings in extra competition from Google. So if you have Ezoic, you should definitely set up AdSense income, because I do believe it will help create a more competitive atmosphere for ads to show on your site and lead to higher revenue. So Amazon affiliates, I still made over $315 on Amazon affiliates. If you look over the course of the month, it does look like the clicks is slightly on the downturn. Again, this doesn't quite make sense considering the visits were somewhat up. But this affiliate income, I think maybe once was over 500, but it's usually in the 300 to 400 range. So this is not unusual for what we're seeing. And it's 11% conversion. Again, that's one of the reasons why I use the Amazon affiliate program. The conversion rates are pretty high, and you do get commission on other items that they purchase. So that other affiliate, I have mentioned it's, coupon code based affiliate. This is the highest it's been, of $66.62. I have to look and see if the affiliate went through and figured out the commissions I was missing, because in previous videos I mentioned that I got an email from them saying that their recordings were incorrect. So basically some of the coupons that people were using weren't actually being credited to my account. So they said they were going to try to somehow track it and give me that credit back. I don't think that $66 is from that. I think that might just be due to me changing and updating for the new coupon. So if that's the case, I'm really excited for this affiliate program, because that's not bad. So if we look at EPMV, so the overall EPMV for ads, so just looking at the ad income, as we saw from Ezoic, was $25. I have been trying to get over $30. Over $25 is really nice though. But I have the last, over 6 months, I've been hitting that $30 EPMV overall. But if we look, I'm just shy of it. So of the 80,619 visits, and the overall income, the EPMV was $29.84, so close to 30. But I'm really not that upset with it. It's still great. Yeah, it's still pretty great. So let's take a look at expenses. The expenses for this month have just been Amazon or Ezoic Premium, and that is $218.86. So you might be wondering why that is not exactly $220. So the program and the premium subscription I have should be $220, but I do have a couple other sites on there that make very little. But I wanted to proportionally distribute the expenses. So $1.14 go to the other sites. So that brings my total profit for the month $2,186.99. So again, this is basically truly passive income at this point, and it is awesome. It's awesome to see that number. I really do want to grow the site. It'd be great to reach, consistent 2,500 a month profit. I think that would really help in making the site more valuable, but I am really struggling on how to grow this site. As you can see, I'm not putting a ton of effort into articles, but I don't think doing the same thing over and over again is going to help me grow. And I haven't quite figured out what that next step is to grow. So let's look at the lessons learned. So there's not a ton of lessons learned, but we'll discuss the problems. The links were on a decreasing trend. So somewhere along the way, I'm losing links. It doesn't seem to have an impact right now on my position in Google, but it definitely could. And it can impact how Google sees my site as an authority. Another issue I had this month is my VA or virtual assistant didn't do any work. She's been really busy, and she actually did send in a 2-week notice at the end of this month. So I'm going to be losing her, and yeah, that's not great, but I understand she's still in school and kind of needs the time. And then the other problem is just the decreasing EPMV. I don't really know what the future holds for, for niche sites, and especially for ad rates with everything that's going on. So it's definitely watch outs for next month. So unlike the last videos, I'm not putting, the goals for next month simply because they've been the same and I haven't really been hitting them. And because I'm not really doing anything, I'm not putting in a ton of effort to reach those goals. So I feel like they're not all that meaningful to present to you. If I'm going to make the goals and not stick to them, that is totally on me. So I am kind of just doing whatever I can at this point and waiting it out, as well as brainstorming ideas to grow the site. So thank you for listening. I know this was a little bit shorter than some of the other ones have been, in the past. But please take a look at the other income reports if you want to see how my site has grown from month 1 all the way to month 15. It's crazy. I'm in 15 months of this thing. But it really does show you that you can create, passive income where you're doing minimal effort in making money in this business strategy. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please take a look at any of the videos, like, subscribe, comment, all of that, and I'll see you in the next video. I'm LJ, and this is Blogs Route. Bye.